look is tired. I feel cool, cool, cool. Move my keyboard off the way. Honestly, this is one of like the coolest like birthday gifts I've ever received. Like my brother
Oh,
got me
that's
this like
awesome.
thing. He's like, I mean, you guys sit at a computer all day. Why not make it fun? I was like,
Very
how did I
wise.
never think of that?
Very, very wise. Great gift.
All right. I'm All right, here we go.
Okay. Last time on Meanwhile and Faust, we picked up where we left off with the first meeting between the Dreadnought and his daughter Solora. Which reminds me to pull up this family tree because that's always super important.
What'd you say?
I gotta pull up the family tree. Okay. Shalora got a chance to ask her father anything and everything that was on her mind. His sister and her mom both expressed that he would never lie to his daughters. And the Dreadnought was true to that, as he answered every question truthfully, though there were some questions he would not answer. Solora was very persistent with those and did eventually get some answers, but there are some things, mainly the secrets of the sea, that he is not willing to tell her unless she comes to the sea. He would not give her a true map of the ocean, and he would not go into great detail about the current pirate lords. But Solora was able to find out that, in fact, the world maps are incorrect and the ocean is much larger than the seafaring people of the world let known. Made clear that the arcane bane rubies are known to the denizens of the ocean. Alluded to they may be one of the reasons, one of the ways the pirate lords hold off the powerful nations of the land, and that they may be used towards dealing with creatures of the sea as well.
I don't think he told me that. I know that was earlier.
Aaliyah told you. I'm sorry. He did. He was aware of what they were and did not like you having them, and was not overly interested in going into detail about what they are and what he knows about them. He told you a lot about your grandmother, about a lot of her secrets, the things he told your sister, and the things that he found out himself, and the things that the sea knew about her. The biggest of those being that her parents were from Gilavesto. That the history, that in turn the history of Faust is, I suppose, a bit fabricated, although that's any kingdom.
She based it off.
And the fact that the sea is aware that the tree killed her husband, your grandfather, and that she used the people she punished and killed served the double purpose of quieting a generation, more or less.
Singular purpose.
Well, it was also implied that she was in fact upset about what happened, so double purposes.
Stop it. So.
Yes, she was aware ahead of time, but did not stop it. Though it's not like it wasn't days ahead, but she did have advance warning.
You could have.
She could have stopped it, yeah. Your grandmother knows a lot of the secrets of the sea. She at one point forced her way into freebooter anchorage and met with the pirate lords. Your father alluded to. He told you that he's been keeping track of you and what you're doing, and was aware that Alir had moved a bunch of your troops into Risquib, and that he's aware of how, but was not willing to share with you how that works. He made it clear that while Freebooter Anchorage is landlocked, that is one of the pirate capitals. He told you a little bit about his parents, who have not a floating city per se, but they live their lives on the sea and often change where they are. But if you want to meet them and you head to sea, they'll probably find you. So they used to be pirate lords and lost a pirate civil war when the pirates could not decide how to deal with your grandmother, whether they should interfere or not. They were on the side of interference, of course.
But the interfering side lost. The ones who wanted to interfere lost.
Correct. The ones who wanted to interfere with the land's business lost. Your father's betrothal and marriage to your mother kind of caused friction in his family with his parents, as they hate your grandmother for what they believe are great reasons. And him marrying into that family was a big issue for them. Your father never trusted your grandmother and told her so on many occasions. Let her know that he knew some of her secrets, though it wasn't explicitly clear on which secrets those were. And eventually, seeing how she was influencing your mother and his children, he decided to leave, but he left Alir and Theron to watch after the both of you. He told you the story of how he met your mother, how she... That's a TV show.
Oh yeah, how am I doing?
How she killed him and brought him back to life, and their long journey back to Faust and saving a city or two and a couple of villages, and falling in love before they returned. He was pretty open about answering most of your questions. I think that's most of the main points that he told you. I'm sure I'm leaving a good bit out.
He actually gave me the timeline of the trees.
Oh, yes. He gave you the number of trees and the timeline for how long they all lived. Which is something you've been trying to find out for a while now.
Let's see, small things. Told me about the marine he told me that Kryn might have some meaning in Gilda still.
Yes.
And that the grandfather's parents are druids from Vidrus.
Yes, the good earths.
Yeah, the structure of the fake court, which is apparently Foss's fake history based on. Or no, our hierarchy
is identical to theirs. Yes.
Yeah. Isn't Gork is an undead forest? Not just dead forest. I don't know if we heard wrong or just knew wrong, but
I think it was just an assumption that you all made.
That was, oh, my sister, I realized she had, like, her memories were taken regarding Sephiroth.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he did also tell you there's a zombie army around the coast of Sephiroth?
Yes.
Yes. And that's why it's difficult to approach via sea as well.
That's wild. Because I feel like when we first started talking about it, it made it seem like they just were just like walking around. Then when I said, "Can you go look?" he was like, "Actually, no."
Well, the army's pretty big. Some could be walking around, and some could be.
Oh, that's true. It was like an actual whole city of people.
Yeah,
I got turned into a zombie arm. Oh
yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
Um, that's this was a while. Okay. Yep. Oh, I mean, this is, I mean, where it says fake courtship, but the fact that all of the fake rulers were from the mortal plane, that's so
Yes,
weird.
and that your grandmother was supposed to be in line to be one, but was able to break free of that somehow.
It shouldn't have been the case because it shouldn't be that powerful, but apparently she's very, very powerful.
You informed him that your grandmother has some ability to affect water, which he was very surprised to hear, and was certain that she should not have any abilities outside of monk abilities.
Yes. I
Hold on, I
don't
gotta
see
plug my
why.
headphones in.
Well, actually, I guess I have to ask him. Like, he's like, you can multi-class, but why? That's a conversation for this game. Okay.
Say again, I had my headphones off, I couldn't hear you.
No, no, I was talking, but it was a conversation for the game anyway.
Okay.
I was just saying is why couldn't he have other like people from multi-class, so like couldn't he have other abilities?
But okay, I do believe that's the meat of what you
It
got
is.
from him. Um, you're having the conversation with him. You still have a dinner planned with him, Aaliyah, Theron, and your sister. And you still have a meeting with the spy master at some point to happen. And of course, you have multiple other days. But we will pick up with you and your father still discussing. You guys are on, the two of you are on your second bottle of wine at this point. Gerbo is still in the room keeping an eye on any scrying spells, which he has not seen yet. And he is doing his best to ignore the conversation very pointedly.
Hmm.
Oh, he's in fact in a cone of silence at the moment, actually. A zone
Yeah.
of silence. As your father asked him to do that before he would talk about your grandmother's secrets.
Um. Oh yes, I remember. Damn, I wish I remember exactly what he said at the end. I was trying to. I remember what it was about, but I was trying to like figure out a response to it. Well,
I can pull it up really quick if you want me to.
yes, please.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
He did, like, it was, oh, it was, as to why he's building this place. Like the same way my grandmother used my grandfather's death as a cover for like scorching. Like,
To the dungeon, so Bavaria could get said ruby.
but she shouldn't have been able. Hmm. Hold on, I'm trying to remember separate what I know. So
Yes.
that's why I tried to bounce right. It is, she did.
I cannot say how she did it then. Expression grows a little dark. Am I go?
Course, from killing a giant. If she were to find one.
She, as I understand it, the giants were long gone before her time came.
Hey, I do a pretty good French accent.
Laura says, "What can you tell me about?" Yeah, to like see what they can see outside. Check it. Hold on.
To check it?
Yeah, to like see what they can see separate from the sea.
No.
We might have.
They're standing there guarding. You should be able to get close enough to. I mentioned Anton wouldn't let me even look over the wall. Something. Kismet Gorge?
The borders?
I'm getting close to it.
Were they freebooters?
Yeah. I meant to make a note of it, but I forgot.
Do you have reason to go to freebooters Anchorage? My thought. He kind of laughs. Why do you know of those?
You, why would there be a also every week as a reminder that I'm not using it? Let's keep looking behind me.
And
We
he
talked so much after the session, it's kind of hard
frowns
to
at
find
you,
where we actually ended. I'm close.
shakes his head. I do not know what it is about the women of this family, but you all have this streak in you. It is dangerous. These weapons were used to butter.
I know that I was there, before, but I know, like he. Okay.
That
That
was
was
he has the ring, so you guys are aware of the
right
change.
things.
Mhm.
Oh,
The palace that I know of to the arcane pen.
mm, mm, hmm.
Questions upon questions.
Okay, I think I
We
found
are
it.
at
Hold on.
Let's call it a set. Hmm. Let's call it a set.
There is no Kata palace that I know of to the arcane pen. That is why it is so dangerous.
Hmm. Let's call it a session. Get it?
I do not.
Maybe not. But if there's a weapon that can take magic,
So what
you
we
know of
ended
a weapon
on
that can.
was you asking him about the arcane bane, and you were asking if there's a weapon that can take magic, is a weapon that can give magic, and he was telling you he does not know of any counter to the arcane bane, and that's why it's
Right,
so dangerous.
right.
And that's where we ended.
I see. Okay. Okay. That makes. Okay.
Yeah.
Um. Still didn't think that through. Okay. Um.
So as we start, he is drinking more of the wine. Still a little tense.
Did I ask him about why? I think I asked him about why there'd be a dragon locked up with rubies, like with well, dungeon with rubies, and he said he didn't know.
Yes.
Is that okay? Okay. Okay. Um. So let's say, what if there is uh, something that can offset arcane game?
Well, that would be very powerful. It'd be very attractive to very many people, and it would allow for the arcane bane to be more openly used in combat, I believe, if people felt it was not a crippling blow.
What if I told you that the existence of such a thing is the reason you're pocketing my shits?
He narrows his eyes. I would ask you to expound upon that, my daughter.
Like 1 second, I gotta hand tell you something for the baby. So
No
sorry.
problem.
So, All right. He's back. Sorry. He
No, you're
took our son to the park yesterday and got mosquito bites on his face.
fun. Mosquitoes are the bane of children.
Real. Okay. Okay. Need to elaborate. Is it? Wait. That's what
Yes,
he
he
said.
asked you to expound.
Okay. So, just ran up and down the stairs, hopefully.
Take your time.
Um, damn, what did I say? See, now, okay.
That the reason he's hijacking the ships is because this thing exists.
Yeah. Um, so I say, there's a little town up on a mountain that, has a mineral that, what is it here? Enhances magic and apparently can also counteract the effects of Arcane Bane. Avasarala was in the process of making a deal, which which was very lopsided on her behalf, and since the ruler of that town was a friend, I stepped in and made a better offer. She didn't appreciate that.
That is very noble of you, my daughter. Is she? Do your knowledge does Abasarala know about the arcane Bane? Or was she simply interested in this mineral for its own purposes?
As far as I'm aware, she only knows about the mineral, but there's been well, I don't know. She could very well be aware of arcane Bane or knowing what it was. Two people who had it, waving it around.
He nods. This is interesting, my daughter. Is mineral, is this what you are getting from the city? Is this what the trade deal is that makes Avasarala so upset?
Yes, indeed. If still, I glance at Gerbo.
He gives you the nod that it's still blacked out, as it were. He looks at you. Seems like studying you a bit.
Studying him back. If he was about to betray me.
He says to you, it's like he's picking his words a little carefully. Does your mother know about the arcane band?
I do that. It's so hard to tell. She nods. I don't know if you could see what I was doing there.
No, what'd you do?
I was just like,
Gotcha. He sighs a bit. And does your mother know about this mineral?
no, I honestly don't remember if I told her explicitly.
You definitely did not tell her that it can.
What
Did
it
you?
does. I don't
You
think
told
I
you,
did.
I know you told her that enhanced magic. I'm pretty sure she knows that. I don't think because she definitely knows everything Eva Charlotte knows about this thing. I'm not
Okay,
sure if
right.
you told her that it
Tell her.
can negate.
No, I don't think out there would have been able to say that.
I don't think you
So,
said that. So we'll say you didn't. I don't believe you did. There's no. Well, you offer up a lot of information you don't need to, but I don't know that you did.
so I say if you're asking if she's aware of the existence of Arcane Bane, yes, she is. If she's aware that of the mineral, also yes. How they interact with each other, don't really be quite
He nods. My daughter, do you have the intentions of weaponizing the arcane band?
I glance wherever I'm storing my little dagger right now, or my arrow.
Uh,
Uh, what do you mean exactly by that?
what you say?
I said, what do you mean exactly by weaponizing it? I mean,
I mean, are you going to use it to steal cities and nations' magic and then sell them back their abilities with your mineral?
tell them back. Now, if I take them back on,
He nods. He nods a little slowly.
say, have you heard about the magic plague in certain cities?
In Briar Cove, yes, I am aware. It is one of the ports I stopped visiting for that very reason.
No need. It's the arcane bane.
What's that?
It was the arcane banes.
He nods. That is Jubilee. Was it you with the arcane bane?
We, I also assume you've heard I wanted for murder there.
He smiles. I have also heard that that has been cleared up by some powerful friends.
Well, I allegedly killed the person who caused the issue, but not there. So.
He nods. Is another noble act for my daughter. Well, I would suggest you use caution with the arcane bane. And should you not use caution, at least use discretion. So trails do not lead back to yourself.
I feel like those who are in the know, they always know. But oh yeah, wait, we put this out. I was checking my notes about the axiom, but I think that was mostly with Aaliyah. Oh no, I mentioned them last session, right? That the axiom was built on top of a cave, said dungeon with the ocean.
Um, I believe so because he mentioned he knows. Because you brought up Anton, he mentioned he knows Anton personally.
Yes, yes, and he knows his. That's what the fuck I forgot to write down. He knows his brother. Wouldn't tell me about it.
Yes, he would not tell you anything about Anton's brother.
Yes, yes, yes. How the fuck did I not write that down? I write down dumb stuff, but
He was aware that the action, the true intention of the action was Anton tried to find his brother.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I swore I wrote that down. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm all like,
No, you're fine. You get a lot of information every week.
he's friends with anti-Cody.
Mm-hmm.
Or is. So, um, yeah. So, uh, yes, that's why I'm Sorella Hickston. You probably will. Yeah.
But I am glad to hear it is not in Avasarala's hands. She is as ambitious as your mother, if not more, for her short lifespan.
Oh, yes. Sorry, so he also said he could like pay pirate me to like, get the stuff there, but make sure people who need to know that it's
Yes, he could
doing.
make an arrangement with you if you'd like.
But
Outwardly, it would seem like you are losing, but people who would need to know would know that you're not.
Okay. Um, so, Laura like looks at the time and realizes it's approaching approaching dinner time. Seeing how the life conversation took hours.
Right.
um. So, he like glances at the bottle of wine and says, "Are you still up for dinner?"
Of course, I never turned down a good meal, especially not in Faust. And I need something to balance out all this wine, I believe.
Well, we can continue our conversation after dinner.
He
Okay.
nods, and he stares and says, I will go freshen up, and I shall return for the dinner.
Careful.
He stands up and he stretches a bit, and he grabs the bottle and says, I will also see to taking care of this. And he smiles and he says, it is good to see you, my daughter.
You as well.
And he makes his way out the room.
Or looks like Gerbo.
Gerbo nods and drops whatever silent spell he had up, and he says, Gerbo assumes you are done needing his services for the moment.
Yes, but don't leave the mountain yet. Probably need you for after dinner conversation as well.
He nods. Gerbo will stay around, though Gerbo is going to go eat his dinner.
Yeah. You're free to join us if you'd like.
Gerbo is uncomfortable in family situations.
Fair enough. Enjoy.
He nods and he floats out the room as well.
Just say, as you like go on, say, I can also have what we're eating brought to you, unless you'd like to take your own.
He perks up. Gerbo would appreciate that. Gerbo will tell one of the workers. And he floats out with a smile on his face. All right.
Laura makes a note on to. Actually, no. Laura goes back in her office and Aaron.
There's a few moments. Yes, my sunrise.
Um, could you meet me in my office for a minute?
Absolutely. I'll be right there. And sure enough, maybe a minute or so later, he comes in the office.
you run?
No, no, of course not. I just happen to be around, as is my job.
How's the lair doing?
He, his pride is a bit hurt, but other than that, he is doing okay.
Did he put something on his?
That's been tended to, yes, yes.
Sure. I need a notebook. Mm, that I can write in, but no one else can read.
That's a little tricky. Huh.
Is it?
A little bit, yes. um, I will look into it. I'm certain I've heard of something like that in the past.
It certainly.
I will see
Or,
what I can find.
or, give me a bag of holding. I could do something there.
A bag of holding would be much easier to come upon.
Still find out about the other things in the meantime. The bag of holding. I think. And a nice one. Pretty good.
No problem. I will see to that, my sunrise.
It's an ostrich feather quill.
Is there anything else I could do for you before dinner? Who all is invited to dinner, may I ask?
I believe. Earlier, I believe I invited him, my father, and ambassador. And
All
you,
right.
of course.
Of course. And he smiles and says, all right, I will ensure that the cooks are aware that everything is ready. And at your leisure, I will gather everyone for dinner.
Before you go, how much do you know about the secrets of the sea?
He stiffens a bit for a moment and relaxes again. I was, as I'm sure you're now aware, a pirate of some renown. I know quite a bit.
Are you aware of how Valer is getting people to and fro?
He looks uncomfortable. I am.
Okay. See you at dinner. I won't ask you at dinner.
All right. He slowly then quickly makes his way out the room.
Laura like chuckles and then says to herself, probably didn't need to do that. That's probably a mistake. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Just a little bit.
Oh, gotta work on that.
But some time does pass as you spend time writing down what you've learned, organizing some notes. And
I don't want to work. I don't want to write anything down until
you get the bag of holding or the book that can.
I might. I'll just put a couple like key words, but nothing that would mean anything.
You could always, I assume you could always write your notes in shorthand. That would only make sense to you.
Okay. Yeah. I'll do that.
Okay. So, and you're like super old, so you definitely could have developed a shorthand over a couple hundred years.
Okay. Okay. All
So
right.
you do that, and then when you're ready for dinner, Theron does gather everyone in the dining room. And as you make your way down, it seems they have switched out the table for a more appropriate table to sit everyone nicely. Instead of being like a long one that could add too many chairs to, it's like perfectly sized to the occasion.
I want to know. I put on something like nicer.
Okay. As you enter, you do see that Alir has a shirt on under his jacket. He seems to be messing with it and trying to not trying to unbutton it, but clearly uncomfortable having a shirt on. And
Well,
every time he messes with it, like the Dreadnought looks at him like, "Leave it on." He's
the Lord takes note but tries to like stifle a reaction.
he and you can see there's a spot on the table where his feet may have been up on that he's kind of cleaning off now.
And she sees this, Laura like beckons for like a cocktail as she like walks in.
It is given to you.
As she walks over to the table.
Who did you want to sit by?
Is this a round table?
It's actually, yeah, it's a round table. That makes it easier for a conversation, a small, comfortable gathering.
Okay. Or nope, I guess people aren't at their seat other than the bull who had his feet up.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll sit as far away from him as possible without being directly across.
Across from him, that's hilarious. Okay. And so you do that, and the Dreadnought comes to sit next to you at your right. Aaliyah sits next to, or Theron sits next to Aaliyah, so Aaliyah's to your left. Theron's to your left. And your sister is the last one in the room, and she sits next to the other side of your dad. So it's...
Aaliyah to my left? No, Theron.
Theron's to your left. Aaliyah's next to him. Next would be your sister, then the Dreadnought, then back to you again.
Got it.
And this table, the round table is pretty unique, as there is a... it's a circle, but it has like a little gap on one side, so the servers can come and bring food to the middle of the table and give it to everyone without having to interrupt anything.
That's nifty.
So they do start bringing in some appetizers and some appropriate cocktails to match the appetizers. As the Dreadnought looks around and smiles big as he says, "This is quite the moment for me. This is nearly all of my family in one spot sharing a dinner. I honestly did not think I'd ever see the day." And he wipes a little tear away.
Okay.
He smiles and says, "This is a bit like worlds colliding, no? I have my family from the sea, I have my family from the land, and we have food and wine and drinks." He drinks a little, and Aaliyah goes to kind of sit up and say something, and he goes, "And the silence is so golden." I just feel that we don't need everyone to speak, eh, Aaliyah? I'm sure you would speak for hours if we let you. Aaliyah kind of... I was just gonna give a toast or something, a momentous occasion. I don't have to, it's fine, it's no worries.
So Laura, kind of just looks at her sister and says, "We'll let Ambassador give the opening toast."
She smiles and she stands up and picks up her glass and she says, "As Father said, it is very nice to have the whole family together. It's especially good to see you again, Aaliyah, spending some time. It's nice to see you in good health and to still have your excellent personality." And he smiles and she smiles back.
Laura's annoying with the trouble hat.
I am very glad, my sister, that you got to meet our father. I hope he lives up to the legend you have recently learned. And I do hope he has not boasted his own story with too many lies. And he laughs and she laughs. And Theron and Aaliyah laugh.
Or
As he said, this is a rarity. I do hope it is not the last time we are all together like this. And I hope that one day maybe we can add one more seat to the table. And she holds up the glass and says, but we shall enjoy what we have. We shall, as the Dreadnought is like to say, we will drink like we stole it. And eat like they're coming to take it back. She holds up the glass and gives a cheers.
Laura says, don't worry, I won't be coming for it.
They laugh, and Aaliyah says, I'm going to hold you to that.
Yay!
He pats one of the pockets on his jacket and just laughs to himself.
He did. The Lord looks like, wait, what? you don't have to steal it. I can have something sent to your room. That's okay.
Theron elbows him and says, I told you, just ask. You know, like, no, it's just, it's better if I just take it. It's the thrill of it, you know? And they seem to be, they almost fall into a bickering thing, but they stop. Cause like, oh, wait. Public.
Yeah. Lord just looking like halfway amused at this nonsense.
Dreadnought is just beaming, ear to ear smile, just watching the whole thing and enjoying it. And the
Laura looks at him and says, you set this up. You brought them here.
they work so well together. I could not spare to break them apart. Look at them. They are adorable, are they not?
Laura smiles a little sadly and says, yes, they are quite adorable together.
He kind of knows just the little sadness to the tint of sadness to it, and he says, kind of leans over, do not worry, my daughter. I have been very clear with Aaliyah that he could not take Theron from you.
Lord chuckles a bit and says, that's not, I'm not there about that.
He smiles and says, "Oh, you should be. They are legacy. They do enjoy each other's company."
Laura laughs and nods. I'll keep a closer watch on things.
And as you look over, Aaliyah is like taking food off of Theron's plate, like using the fork and just like stealing his appetizers.
Yeah. What is there? How is Theron reacting to this?
Clearly unhappy, but trying not to react. He's clearly trying to pretend it's not bothering him, and trying to pretend he's not noticing it happening.
Laura like glances at like one of the servers and like beckons them over, and like whispers like, "Refill his plate."
And they pretty quickly do refill his plate. To which Aaliyah says, seconds! All right. I thought we had to wait to the next course. This is great.
Laura says, you do have a plate.
I'm saving that one for later. You must space out
I
your
can
meals.
send more. I can send more to your. It's okay.
He laughs and he says, "Oh, Sunrise, the food just tastes better when it's someone else's. Try it. Take the Dreadnought's food. Go ahead."
Laura Technically, it's still mine.
Dreadnought laughs and says, I so hate to agree with Alir, but stolen things do taste better. It's a fact. I've tried this and tested it. It's true. Your sister kind of leans forward so you can see her. They're not wrong.
Keep this in.
Theron sighs and kind of like pushes his plate over towards you. You can take some. Sunrise is technically not stealing, but I'll look away and you take some. And he looks away. Like everyone's kind of like, take it, do it. They all have a big laugh. Dreadnought looks at your sister and says, I see she still has some of the goodness, yes? Your sister kind of, it's not a snort, but it's like a, yes, she does have some of the goodness.
Laura says that laugh was a bit too hearty. My liking, your sister.
It's just the wine. I've been,
We're only at appetizers.
yes, but I may have started a little early.
Right.
Haven't been around so much family at one time in a while.
So you needed to prepare.
Always prepare. That's the ambassador way.
Be ready.
Alir, around now they do clear the plates of appetizers and start bringing out the first course and changing out the cocktails and the wines.
I said, so, tell me, someone who knows more about Theron than I, who are some of his greatest adventures?
Theron immediately blushes as best as he can as a light-skinned person.
Laura's like just cheesing, like
And
excited for this.
Alir, the Dreadnought, and your sister kind of like jump forward in their seats, trying to rush to tell their stories first. But the Dreadnought's voice is louder than both of theirs, as she says, "Oh, hold on, let me."
I'm sorry, is my chewing loud, like Assad loud? No.
What do I got here? No, it's not. To answer your question. So Dreadnought starts with, let me tell you about this man. This is one of the most successful pirates I have ever been around. I have never seen someone move as gracefully on a ship as I have seen Theron. He has never once, not once, lost his footing, neither storm nor battle. Even when your mother had the sword to his throat, he stood both feet firm. His sword knocked away, of course, but feet were firm. I myself have never been able to knock him over on a ship. I do not know where he gets it from. But he has the most graceful feet I have ever seen on a ship. This one time, we were fighting this pirate, a boastful young man. And he, like, stops and thinks for a second. This is... So, confession, I have, on occasion, borrowed your Theron for a mission or two. This is one of those times.
Laura looks at Theron like...
Theron, kind of looks away a bit and says, yes, some of the times when I was... You were gone for 100 years and I had some free time.
Fair enough. Admit I may have left you bored a little too long.
I'm a I'm a quick study, and I was caught up on some things, and the dreadnought says, yes, I borrowed him, and we set upon this young pirate who was being a bit too boastful for my liking, and trying to, well, he called me out, and I told him, you cannot face the dreadnought if you cannot beat the feet of the sea. We play with his name a lot. There says, I don't like that one. It's not very good. Well, the feet of...
Oh, I kind of like it.
Aaliyah says, I'm trying to tell him it's a great name. It invokes just curiosity and wonder. No one knows what to expect when they hear that. Dread.
See, it sounds, first of all, you assume it's F-E-A-T.
Dreadnought's nodding along like, she gets it. So I say, if you cannot defeat the feet of the sea, you cannot fight the dreadnought. And of course, this boastful young pirate, he took the challenge with no... He didn't even ask information. He doesn't know who the feet of the sea are. He just does it. And my Theron, let me tell you, he gives this man so many cuts. But Theron, he is a, how do you say, he is a sojourn with the rapier. He is very tactical with his cuts. He will not tell you this, but he specializes in the death by 1,000 cuts. Very quickly doing so as well. Theron is
Or like looking at Theron like from the earth.
blushing even more, kind of putting his head down, and he's playing with his knife.
Are you practicing? Are you practicing right now?
He goes. He didn't realize he was doing it. Like push it down really quick. I was just cutting my food. Oh my goodness.
In the air? What?
He was like doing this with it. Like had his hand. He was kind of like just touching it to his thing, and he kind of like puts his head down and shakes it. Is this their own? He gives this young pirate. He gives him cuts on the arms and the legs and the sternum and the ribs, everywhere but the face. And he tells him, "What did you say, Theron? What was it?" And Theron kind of sighs.
Lord is waiting like, what did he say? What did he say?
He sighs and he says, I told him someone so young should not carry the scars of the feet so openly, and that I will not harm a hair on his face, but I will ensure his face kisses my boots. And what did you do to him, Javon? I kicked him in the face, so his face kissed my boots.
You did what?
I kicked him in the face.
You kicked him in the face. You kicked him in the face.
Yes, I cut him a few times. A few times! I cut him a few times, and...
What's a few, sir? Sounds like more than a few. Sounds like a lot.
He will not tell you this, but this is our own. He is a counter. He counts all the cuts he makes. It is very disheartening when you're fighting him. He says it out loud. It's terrifying.
Out loud?
It is terrifying, let me tell you. He counts, and then he stomps his foot, and he counts, and he stomps his foot with each cut. So he'll cut you once, one stomp. Cut you twice, two stomps. Cut you 3 times, 3 stomps. It's terrifying.
I'm picturing like a matador, like.
Little bit. And then he breaks, when he gets to the higher numbers, it's like a dance.
Oh my. Show me. Show me right now.
Theron shakes his head.
Right.
No. We're not doing that tonight. That is not. I don't do that for fun.
Just 1 through 5.
And they were like, do it. And he downs his cup and he shakes his head. He stands up, and it's very much like
Awesome.
it's not like salsa dancing, but it's very much in line. Yes, very very much in line. It's surprisingly sensual as well. It is very hard to look away from.
Oh,
And
oh,
while he is simply just jabbing with the cutlery, he is very quick.
I
And
glance
he,
at
he does
the
a very quick 5.
of 10.
He sighs and he puts the knife down and holds his hand out, and Aaliyah reaches into a pocket and pulls out a pretty decently sized dagger.
Oh shit. Solar says.
Aaliyah says, "What? You must always have knives. As many knives as you can possibly carry at one time. You always need a knife. Always carry a knife. Do you not have a knife on you right now?"
Stay ready.
He nods. And yeah. And Aaliyah, Theron gets the knife, and
Laura is just like entranced. What
He,
the fuck is this?
he calls over one of the servants and says, "Come here. I'm not going to. You'll be fine. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. I need a focus."
Laura like looks at the servant like, if he cuts you, I'll cut him.
The servant comes over, kind of looks a little hesitant, but stands there. And then Theron goes to like one of the side tables and pulls the tablecloth off, and puts it around. He puts it around the person and has them like hold it on their arms and stuff, and says, "Okay, don't move." And Theron takes a sword, holds it in like a ready position.
Just stands up and like chews the servant off and like takes the thing and puts it on her shoulders.
He goes,
Can't have you possibly injuring one of my family. We're all family here.
he sighs and he says, "Sunrise, I cannot guarantee I won't cut your clothes as well as the cloth."
So you won't cut his? Hers? Theirs?
It's been a while. I cannot guarantee I won't only cut the cloth. That's why I chose a... No, you'll be fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Say, grab another tablecloth. Come on, bring a tablecloth. We'll double it up.
He gets another tablecloth and you double it up, and he sighs and he kind of just positions you to stand there and like has like tells you like put one arm kind of up some and one to your side, and he says, "You can move if you want. I asked that you didn't."
What?
And he gets in like a ready position, and he's about to begin before Aaliyah says, Wait, you forgot." He looks at them. "You didn't take your drink." And he sighs and reaches into one of the inner pockets and takes out a small flask you've never seen.
And you drink.
He drinks some and closes it back and puts it back. And he does a bit of a flourish with the little dagger. And he takes the little dagger and puts it into the coat pocket and pulls out a rapier. And
That's me.
and he gives a little bow to you, then a bow to the dreadnought. And then he stomps his foot on the ground twice. Boom, boom. And as you inadvertently just look at the sound and look back up, you have 2 cuts. And he just slowly starts walking to your side. Before he gets out your vision, he takes 4 quick steps, louder than they should sound. And as you're instinctively drawn to the sound, you get 4 cuts on the other side of yourself. And as you look down at that, he's behind you. And you feel
What?
the cloth shift across your back. And as you kind of instinctively go to like look behind you, you can see him at the corner of your eyes spinning on the ground, on his knees, just kind of spinning around you and coming up and just with a flourish of slashes just up your chest on the cloth.
Oh my god!
And as you look at that and you instinctively take a step back, and you try to take a step back, you feel his hand on the small of your back, and the rapier is at your eye.
This is Theron.
And as he look, and he has a look on his face you've never really seen. It's a focus, and it's a relaxed, arrogant, cocky, intelligent focus. And as he's like staring you in your eyes through the rapier, he's like lined the rapier up perfectly down his eye line. He just stops 10 times very slowly, and then lowers the rapier and puts it back into his coat and takes back out the dagger and tosses it to Aaliyah. And he says, that is the 10 steps under the moonlight.
Well, you got yourself quite a catch, haven't you, Aaliyah?
Aaliyah bursts out laughing. Theron goes back to the embarrassed look again. Aaliyah says, is that I do? That I do. And kind of like pounds the table and claps. And, the dreadnought and your sister are just clapping.
Wow, that was impressive.
He sits back down and drinks some of the wine and says, there was a reason that I was as highly ranked in your father's crew as I was.
You just got all the boys, didn't you? I mean, never mind. Kidding.
He's blushing, and the dreadnought laughs, a big boastful laugh, and he says, yes, Theron has quite the reputation with the killings and the dancings and the, the other things.
Sorry, tough ones.
Your sister speaks up and says, okay, my turn. All right, so.
Oh. I'm sorry. Continue.
All right. So, as fathers mentioned, Theron was borrowed from a time or two when you were away.
1 or 2, or 3 or 4, I imagine.
Or 5 or 6. But, so, there I was. I had made my way to Evanwood for a few meetings, and I found myself with an opportunity. One of the lesser Evanwoods had decided to pull out of a potential trade deal and were making off with some goods that belonged to Veritas. I saw this opportunity to improve our relations, so I...
Oh, that belongs to who?
Veritas.
Oh, Veritas. Okay.
I saw this as an opportunity to improve our relations, so I contacted Theron. We saw to the procurement of a ship, and we were able to track them down in open sea. And
wow. You didn't take me on the open sea, Theron.
Theron, you haven't. If you want to go,
Let me go, Theron.
It's just a smiler. He says, "So, Theron is not only an accomplished fighter, but he is a great sailor. We were able to track them down very quickly. And when we saw them, Theron did this thing, right? So we killed all the lights on the ship, put the fires out, and Theron climbed up the mast to the very top flag and lit that on fire. So the Evanwood ship just saw a burning flag on a darked out ship heading to them. When we got within, how far was it? Theron, looking down, says, 30 feet. Within 30 feet, Theron
Pretty
runs
close.
and jumps from our boat to theirs.
That's pretty far.
It gets better. He runs up the rigging to the very top of their sail and jumps down and cuts it clean through. Before landing on the deck and going up the next rigging and doing the same. Before we closed the 30-foot gap, he crippled the ship. By the time we got there and our little crew was able to board, he already had the captain by the neck.
Oh, wow.
Theron, I didn't want to put your sister in danger. I didn't want to put any of the other crew in danger. It was the most efficient way.
So I should just bring you with me. Why are you here? Why do you stay at home?
The Dreadnought laughs, and Aaliyah laughs and gives a knowing look to the Dreadnought. And the sister says, "Oh, I may know. After we got the cargo and left them stranded, we happened to come upon a few more ships by happenstance, and Theron just felt the itch." Theron says,
Those poor people.
No, hold on. Listen, if we only robbed one ship, it would be, it would stand out. So it only made sense for there to be a pattern of piracy in the area. That way they wouldn't know it was, us.
Do you rob those other people?
A mysterious pirate robbed those other people. See, your sister smiles and laughs and says, I don't know if you've been in Theron's room before, but he has a few collectibles that he came upon in this exciting night we had.
Laura thinks. No, I don't think I've ever been. Go into your room.
He shakes his head.
Taking me back to your room.
I assure you, there's no need. There's no need to go to my room. It's very boring.
Oh, I don't. So.
Your sister says, to this day, if you go to the docks, you'll still hear tales of the ghost of the burning flag.
Laura says, I might just start bringing you along here, Theron.
The Dreadnought says, do that as your own risk, my daughter. He is a natural born, he's a natural born killer. He is a man of the sea. He is a pirate through and through. If you give him a taste, he'll want the whole bite. It's very hard to rein this one in. That's why I needed a lair. And Aaliyah laughs, and Theron's looking even more embarrassed. Aaliyah says, which leads me to my story. So, there we were. We had just taken down a few ships. This is back in our Dreadnought pirating days, when he was a pirate lord and we were his second and first. And we accommodated a new ship, and so we were sailing it ourselves to get it back to freebooters. And so we do this thing, right, where we take your ship, we kill your captain, and we let the crew join us, should they choose to.
Just a small thing, whatever. Simple.
It's very common, yeah. you can't keep captains alive. They have pride. Do too much. It's a sea thing. So we always allow the first mate, if they want to fight to save their captain. So fairness. But they have to fight him. This one first mate, right? Big guy. Uses like an axe instead of a sword, right? Very apropos to the sea. But he was very confident that he could save his captain's life by killing Theron. So Theron was unimpressed, and this is back in his more boastful days. He decides he's going to fight without a weapon.
Oh, to an axe.
To an axe, yes. He and as he is known to do, he promised this strapping large gentleman that before the fight was finished, he would kiss his boots. That's kind of a thing he does. It goes with the fear of the sea thing we keep telling him he has. But so, our Theron proceeds that every time this large gentleman swings the axe, Theron misdirects it to cut himself. Every time he swung it, Theron would get in close, quick hit to the elbow, push the axe in, and cut him on the chest, or swing it down and cut his leg. And moving around, counting out his steps as he is known to do, proceeds to do his 100-step dance and 100 cuts, but only uses this gentleman's axe to do it. Never taking it from his hand, mind you. Just redirecting it. Theron, he's in a mix of embarrassment and pride at this point. And and Aaliyah continues to say, so there we are. The gentleman's captain is telling him to stop the fight. Don't die. We don't both need to die here. And the first mate is not hearing any of it. So what does Theron do? Theron kicks him in the ear and says, "Listen to your captain." Something like that. It was very dramatic. And he still wanted to fight. So Theron kicks him in the back of the leg, knocking him to his knees. And he knocks him on the ground, puts his foot on his face, and pushes it into the deck. And then he leans down and he says to him, "Kiss my boots." It was, let me tell you, my heart aflutter. So, of course, yeah, he says no, so Theron kicks him in the teeth. And he looks to the captain, and he says to him, "You've chosen a fine first mate." And he kicks him off the ship. It was something to behold, let me tell you.
Wow. It's nice that you left him alive.
We
Or
don't.
Did you?
Yes.
Did he die?
Yeah, no, I didn't kill him. We left him alive. He had to be locked up for the rest of the sailing, of course, but alive and well, as far as I know.
You killed the captain?
The captains die in these scenarios, and it did not win, of course. So, per the rules of engagement, yes, he was a pirate. So,
You saw his first man get.
I did allow him to save his first mate's life, so that's important, I think.
Yes. You did a good thing. Very good.
And Theron, he's in a place of slight embarrassment. He doesn't seem as embarrassed as he did when this conversation first started. But he says, "I think that's enough stories about me for one night."
Well, haven't I learned a lot today?
Dreadnought laughs and says, I did make sure to leave you in good hands, my daughter. I would not leave you unprotected.
So, tell me, what as a group, what was one of your favorite adventures?
They all kind of
Spotlight.
look at each other, and Theron says, "Well, it's kind of a cheap choice, but it is, I believe, our encounter with your mother. Your mother and Hanali. That was quite the adventure." And the Dreadnought says, "Let us assume we cannot pick that one, that is a low-hanging fruit, as it were."
I said, no. I'm curious to hear this again. Different perspective.
Theron says, "I'll tell it. I think you've heard it from the Dreadnought's perspective already." So we were terrorizing the coast of Faust, in direct defiance of the Queen of Faust, your grandmother. We felt it embarrassing that pirates stayed clear of the area. So we decided that we would inform the world that we're not afraid of her.
Oh.
We
Hmm.
ransacked many ships, enriched ourselves greatly. As they were so bold, they just kept sending out more and more, certain that we would flee eventually. Certain we wouldn't dare take these grand barges of gold and treasures. We were, of course, certain they were trying to draw us closer to shore, but we didn't care. We came closer. We started sacking some little villages, and that's when we ran into, I believe, your mother's trap. As in one of the villages, she and Hanali were lying in wait, openly challenged us. I was able to dispatch Hanali with not much work, but your mother was a different story. That is the first time she beat me in a fight. Though Aaliyah was able to come to my aid, and we were able to together fight her off and force her into a retreat. We thought that was the end of her. We did not know who she was. Just thought she was a scrappy upstart in this town. Till we ran into her again on a small vessel. At which point, Aaliyah and I boarded her ship, disabled the ship itself very quickly, dispatched most of the crew, but once again ran into her and Hanali. This time, Hanali put up a much better fight. He seemed to be more prepared, and I suppose he respected my skills at that point. We fought to a bit of a draw, as I had to disengage and help Aaliyah, as your mother was getting the best of him. We were able to make it back to our ship, no worse for wear. Theirs being crippled, we went on our way. We ran into her again on yet a larger ship than the previous. At that point, we started to believe she may have some money and influence. This time, she was able to board our ship. She killed quite a bit of our crew, her and Hanali. The Dreadnought did engage her this time. He fought her to a stalemate, as we were able... I noticed the connection she had with this Hanali, and I ran him through and threw him overboard. She jumped to his rescue.
Really?
It was the best way to handle things, I thought.
Because, like, glances at the Dreadnought, like this, while he's saying this part.
he says, while we lost some crew, we were able to, of course, save the ship and escape your crazy mother. None of us too worse for wear. We were lucky enough not to run into her again, but a few weeks later found out she had stowed aboard the ship somehow. I'm not sure when she did it, but her and Hanali had posed as crew, had been working on the ship for a while, surprisingly good at it, and were able to surprise the Dreadnought in his bed quarters. At the time, Hanali surprised Alir and myself, and a surprisingly better fighter again. Frustratingly so. Alir and I fought him, while your mother fought the Dreadnought. This fight did not go amazingly for either side, I do not think. I would say we all lost a lot of blood that night, though no limbs were lost. While we were able to drive them from the ship, they did cripple our ship. We were forced to make port and repair it, and that is when they set upon us the final time. They were able to surprise us in port or in dock. My particular set of skills are enhanced by the sea. I'm not sure how they realized this, but that was the equalizer they needed against me. And your mother got the best of me and was prepared to kill me if your father had not intervened. At which point she killed him instead. For one reason or another, she saved his life, arrested him. Alir and I insisted that we would be going with. She did not see any reason not to take us with, so we were arrested as well and began the very long journey from the coast to the capital. Of course, Alir was able to get us out of all of our constraints the first night, though the Dreadnought insisted that we do not leave. Said he had lost a fair pirate fight and he would not go against his honor and escape. I thought he was crazy. But we played along and spent the many 10 days making our way to the capital. Along the way, at nights we would, of course, stretch our legs, do a bit of land pirating in the neighboring towns. And on one of these expeditions, we found one of the towns was being controlled by hobgoblins and felt it was best to intervene. Though we did stay a little late, your mother or Hanali woke up, I'm not sure which. They thought we were attacking the town, but quickly realized we were saving it. I don't know, it made a big impression on your mother. From then forth, we weren't confined, we just had to walk with them and became more of a larger group than captive and captee. I sparred with Hanali a bit, taught him a few things, he taught me a few things. Your father sparred with your mother quite a lot. It was quite a thing to behold. It's not often you see a pirate lord fall in love. But it was quite the adventure. And he drinks some of his wine and says, and I'm sure you know how it ended.
Or, like, taking stock of what the Dreadnought's response to this. He was telling the story.
Enjoyment. He seems to be smiling along, just remembering these great memories. A fondness for certain parts, a little play fighting with his knife a couple times to go along with the story. But generally enjoying hearing it told from a different perspective.
How did he respond to the part about her, like, jumping after Hanali, like, into it?
About her doing what?
Jumping into the ocean after Hanali.
Not a grimace so much, but a tinge of annoyance kind of crossed his face.
And how was my sister responding to those?
Enjoying it, eating her food, drinking her wine, and enjoying the story. It seems like you don't get the impression this is new information to her.
It is new information?
It doesn't seem like it is to her.
Oh,
Like someone enjoying a story they've heard a few times.
right. Or, like, cats. Very good.
And you all are on to the main course by now, of course.
Yeah. Any requests for entertainment?
As soon as you say that, everyone looks at Aaliyah, and Elliot has this big smile, and he says, "Shall I?" And he shot before anyone else. He just stands up, and he walks into that little middle space that the servants were using to bring and drop off food, and he hops up and sits on the table to kind of face you all, and he reaches into one of his pockets, and he takes out this like obnoxiously small violin. And a fiddle, I will say. And he says, all right, a little pirate song.
Laura surprisingly amused him.
He says, all right, so this one is a tale as old as time, timeless even. Some say it's a prophecy, some say it's just a wives' tale. But I present to you one of the many tales of Kavoth. And he kind of plucks at the little fiddle and kind of tunes it sarcastically. And he clears his throat, and he says, he begins, I know a young laddie who traded a treasure that was given to him by one powerful and old. I know a young laddie that treats treasures like trinkets, who gives what was given to the Fae on a grove. I know a young laddie who's quick and resourceful, who use every morsel to put this thing right. 'Cause Kavoth, he knows where to find you, he knows where you're sleeping, he knows who you love. Kavoth, the legend awoken, the killer bespoken, the balance undone. Kavoth, hide your kings, hide your queens, he's coming to judge them, his justice be done. Kavoth, killed demons and gods, killed mortals and fae,
What chance have you got? Kavath, Kavath, a wise man should fear him, a fool should avoid him, a child they should run. It begins like tapping on the table. And he says, Kavath, Kavath, the drinks will pour freely, the food will be plenty, the corn will be one. Kavath, Kavath, he'll level your rulers, he'll write out your patron, his justice be done. Kavath, Kavath, he may steal your ladies, he may steal your fellas, insatiable one. Kavath, Kavath, the legend awaken, the rivals are shaking, there's work to be done. And he holds up his drink in the air, and they all seem to know to drink at that point. They're like, Kavath! And they drink. And he looks at you, did you not like it? It's a great song. He smiles and swaggers over and sits back down and does a couple bows and bows to the servants and stuff too.
Laura, like, just looked around the table. Like, how everyone is reacting to his song.
Theron and the Dreadnought seem to know the song. And we're kind of clapping along to it. First time, it seems that your sister's hearing it. She enjoyed it, but she was kind of nodding along to it and taking some mental notes, you think, on some of the words. But she seemed to have enjoyed it too. And she says, "I've never heard that one before. That's very good."
Laura says, didn't know you would play the fiddle.
I am a man of many talents. I'm no bard, but when at sea, someone has to entertain.
I've heard a lot of songs in my day. I never heard that one. Is that new?
No, it's old. Like I said, some people think it's a prophecy. Some think it's just nonsense. Some think it's a true story Kavath wrote. Who knows?
Where did you hear it? A prophecy. Did you prophet?
No, I didn't make it up. That's the rumors. Is that it's a prophecy. I heard it in Freebooters Anchorage. Someone was singing it. I liked it, so I heard it a few times. I paid them for the song so they could tell me and I could entertain the crew.
The prophet. Interesting. How long ago was this?
Oh, a long time ago. A few hundred years ago, maybe?
I guess they wouldn't be there anymore.
No. No one stays there that long.
Very good.
Though it's interesting, though, now that I think about it. Once I got him nice and drunk enough to sell me the song, he actually claimed he was Kavath. Can you believe that? The ego of some people.
What?
He's drinking some more wine and eating some food. He said it was Kavath. It was nonsense.
I mean, has anyone's skin come off? What did this person look like? I mean,
He was a young fella, red hair, light of skin. I don't know. He wasn't a child, but he wasn't old enough to be Kavath.
is he a person? Like a human? Like,
He thinks. Yeah, I think it was a human, so definitely not Kavath.
What is about? Oh, you mean the age thing?
Yes, yeah, the age would be in. Because they die, humans, quickly.
So you got a child drunk and
Well, no, he was. Listen, it's. Okay, so. It's Freebooters, Anchorage. Rules a little different there, okay? You're not a child if you kill people.
you see him kill someone.
No, but he's there, so no one kicked him out. Let him sing on stage. He's not no
He's
one.
on stage.
It was a little stage. It's, you turn over a crate and you stand on it. That's a stage. He sung in a tavern. They didn't kick him out, rob him, or kill him. So they must know him. So, and he was drinking anyways. I didn't buy him his first drink or anything.
So he told you it was a property?
He was talking up the story, trying to drive up the price.
Did he play an instrument or was he just singing?
Uh, he had some busted up loot, I think.
Stood up.
Yeah, it wasn't overly impressive. He played it wonderfully, but it was ragged.
Laura. Laura starts to reach into like a cup, but then stops. So describe it. Like, the fiddle wasn't that
Describe the loot. Uh, I mean, he thinks for a moment, and I'm gonna roll a history check for him.
Laura decides to actually reach in her pocket and pulls out a piece of paper and draws like the new sample.
Give me a. What are we gonna do here?
I'll check my stats.
It's either going to be performance or sleight of hand, your choice.
Do you know what he was gonna perform today, or this is
Oh, the song?
happened? Damn, definitely should have rolled that one.
So you draw a pretty decent representation of the loot Samson had. It's not very detailed, and he looks at it and he says, "That kind of looks like it. It was banged up. None of the strings were fresh. Some had been cut, I think. It was pretty beat up. So I guess that, but like really beat up, might be what it looked like. It's a loot. I don't play
It's
one,
like
so.
It's like a like I don't know. It's not a regular. Right?
Well,
I'm asking you to be like,
oh no, it wasn't. It had more strings than a regular loot.
it was like what 16 or 30 strings?
Something like that. I got to double check. It was a nonsense amount of strings.
Right.
And you kind of did draw to represent a lot of strings. You did get that in there. And he says, I mean, it looked like it could have more strings on it, but it was only like strung for like a regular lute, so I don't know what that was about.
Laura says, you're going to have to teach me that one before you go. I, I may or may not tell them both sides. I know a song with Kabal.
He smiles. Sure, sure. I think that's an even trade. And he passed the pocket again.
But
At this point, the desserts are brought out, and after dinner wines.
Laura, like, kind of takes, well, again, kind of like looks around to see, like, mostly how her father's, like, react about the whole, rock and, like,
Um, Very nonchalant. He's listening, but he seems to be enjoying his meal. He seems to be a practiced hand at not giving away things he doesn't want to give away. But it is, give me an insight check.
Yeah,
Wow. 25. It seems like he knows exactly who Alir is describing. And he looked down at the drawing you made, and there was recognition in his eyes when you drew it. And he is very pointedly not reacting. To the point that to you, it's obvious he knows something about all of this.
What about my sister?
Um, your sister seems to be intrigued by your questions about Kavath. Intrigued by his answers and the description he gave of Kavath. And as you drew the loot, a little recognition, because she's seen Samson with the loot before.
Or, like, about to wink at her.
I will say you guys do meet eyes, because she looks from the thing to you, and then she goes back to enjoying her meal.
He gave a knowing look.
But
Okay.
you all move on to your desserts. After those are finished, if there's anything else you want to speak about, you can, or we can wrap up dinner.
There's something. So I say, as like dirt is wrapping up, I say, well, Lear and Darren, I'll leave you two. Well, whatever it is you'd like to do. And I could see you two. We're gonna after dinner cocktails in my office.
They nod, and Theron says, "We're going to sleep," and he gets up, and Aaliyah gets up.
So
No, we're not.
Because I saw that move. I don't think so.
Aaliyah gets up. Theron rushes, he doesn't rush up to him. He nods to everyone and says goodnight, and he leaves. Aaliyah gets up after him and goes over to the little wine cart and takes 2 bottles and then stops and takes a third. And he says,
I can have them bring champagne. Sure.
as I mentioned, it's better when you steal it.
I'm allowing you to have it.
Sure. Tell yourself whatever you want. And he walks out and says, see you in the afternoon. And he heads out.
So actually, I want them to do my study outside of my office.
Okay.
Like library.
So you guys make your way to the study. Talking a bit as you walk.
On the way, I asked someone to grab Gerbo.
I was going to say that you said someone for Gerbo. Gerbo comes floating on his little disc and meets you guys there. As he is finishing up the same dessert you guys just finished.
I asked how did you enjoy dinner?
Gerbo thought it was exquisite. Very good taste, very good desserts, excellent wine pairing. Gerbo is impressed.
Or like not satisfied.
You all make your way into your study. Gerbo, with a wave of his hand, lights the fire in the fireplace.
Thank you. I say, would you like a drink for us? To Gerbo?
Would you like what?
An after dinner drink for us.
Gerbo smiles and says, Gerbo does have his own libations, but Gerbo appreciates the offer.
Flora nods and says, well.
And he finds a comfy position, like near the fire, kind of has arranged his books in a very lounging position. It looks surprisingly comfortable for books. As he kind of just sits back on his pile of books and just kind of slowly rotates around as he's casting the Sea Invisibility spell. And once it's up, he gets it up and he just kind of slowly floats his disc above everyone's head so he can't see your lips.
And where I guess as he's doing this, like they're bringing in like that. I don't remember what it was to talk to him about. We're so far on. Okay, actually, we'll start. So Laura, invites everyone to sit comfortably.
Okay, they do. There's a lot of comfortable chairs in here, so it's not too hard for everyone to find a spot and to enjoy themselves. Very comfortably sat around the fire.
So what do you know about all of this? And
All of what?
I say all of this in airplay, whatever.
The fiddle or whatever he had. So he says,
No, I meant the loop, but actually we'll go with the fiddle. That makes sense.
Okay. Dreadnought looks to your sister and looks to you. He says, it is one of the well-known secrets of the sea, this Lute of Kavath. It is a thing of legend. I'm surprised that you, although your drawing wasn't very well, my daughter, but I'm surprised that you have seen such a thing.
I was trying to prove my idea. I was in a police sketch.
As I understand, my daughter, we cannot be good at everything we do, no? That would make us the gods. And he kind of laughs a bit to himself.
Or starts to pull out some. I need to prove myself here. That's fine.
Your sister kind of laughs a bit. She says, looks to you for the okay to say that she knows what this is. Well, Father, one of her traveling compatriots actually had the Lute of Kavath. And I'm sorry? You must be mistaken. One of your compatriots has the Lute of Kavath.
Or shakes her head. Not what she said.
He narrows his eyes. She must be mistaken. There is no way anyone would give away the Lute of Kavath. It is the Lute of Kavath.
If you didn't hear the prophecy then.
His expression grows a little dark. No, that cannot be true. There isn't. Tell me that did not happen. Tell me, my daughter, what has happened? You saw this happen, my daughter? He kind of lets out a deep breath and leans back in the chair. You just gave it away to a fair? Was he tricked? Oh.
It depends, actually. Thinking back on it, I feel like you
He might what?
maybe actually was. The situation in retrospect is not as. Wasn't so much. It wasn't as happenstance as we thought.
He nods. This is a little worrisome, my daughter. I do hope Kavath is dead.
I know. I talked to him to pick up and go back. I know that happened while I was still in it. Are we aware of that? Like, the group aware of that? I feel like he catch Sunday to have that conversation, but I don't remember if he were around. But it's like actually.
I feel like he's definitely mentioned that he wants to get the loot back, and that I'm not certain. I don't know.
So I'll just say, um, I don't know that he is. From my understanding, he essentially gave my companion.
He got the loot from Kavath himself?
No, not directly, but the person David was instructed to do so.
He kind of shakes his head, kind of in wonder. And he says, that is amazing in its own right. But then to turn around and to give it away. I have never heard any stories or tales of Kavath being merciful, or Kavath being kind, or Kavath forgiving.
But let's circle back to something. You've seen Kavath, no?
I have seen people who claim to be Kavath.
This kid, they're talking about. No, that he taught the song about.
I have seen someone of that description before. who claimed to be Kavoth before. I have no way to know if they are lying.
Are they human?
The one I saw appeared to be half elven.
Still in red hair, like better hair.
Say it again.
Still in red hair, like still.
His hair was the same, the skin was the same. He is just half elven.
You know whatever happened to that.
No, I meet a lot of people in my lifetime, my daughter. I'm not sure. I do not put much of my time into fools who claim to be legends.
There used to be more than one person claiming to be Kavon.
I have in my time seen. And he thinks for a bit. I had seen what I thought was the same person in passing. So that the other times I had not spoken to them, so I cannot say that they claim to be Kavah.
You spoke to him as well.
Just the first time I saw him, yes.
How did that conversation go?
I was simply congratulating him on playing so wonderfully. I tipped him as is custom of myself. He was very clear to not need my money as he was Govath. I laughed and tipped him more.
When you saw him the other time, like older? Maybe?
The other time, I'm not certain of because it doesn't make very much of the sense. But I am certain, I think, that I saw him leaving your grandmother's presence.
Or to both of them.
Back when your grandmother was the queen, many people came and left from her presence, so it is hard to say. But I do believe I saw him leaving. One of these times I had the unfortunate necessity to visit your grandmother.
Did he see you?
I did not think so. He did not say anything.
Was he older then?
He looked the same age, that's why it could not have been him.
But I'm assuming it was hundreds of years later.
It was hundreds, yes, hundreds of years later.
What was going on in your life at that time?
He thinks for a moment. That would have to have been. Hold on. Gotta plug my Surface in really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He says, that would have to have been. That was actually a little bit before I left. Officially, I suppose. I was going to confront your grandmother on how she was raising and manipulating your mother.
This was after the whole. The
After the what?
whole killing spree.
Yes, this was quite a bit after.
What sort of manipulation were you seeing around that time?
What sort of what?
Manipulation were you seeing at that time?
That was when your mother stopped asking questions about Fela, and when your mother started focusing her efforts in the Sunrise Kingdom to how do you say manipulate the goings on of Gilivesto. It was unprovoked from my eye, but it began after meeting with your grandmother.
Manipulate the water?
Gilivesto, just machinations on how to take it and how to influence their politics and how to create rivalries in their families. It was unnecessary, in my opinion.
So the whole rivalry thing has been like the family hierarchy was the result of something my mother did?
No. Gilivesto has always been a terrible place where they fight amongst themselves. But your mother got involved and began stirring the pot, so to say.
But explain.
What's that?
Explain.
Oh. I would assume you have never been, but as a pirate, and at the time, not affiliated with any nations, I have been to Gilivesto a few occasions. They are not as violent as your country would have you believe. They are very similar to pirates. They have a hierarchy. They have the top families and the lower families, and they compete. The competitions have always been in the light, as you would say. But your mother introduced competing in the dark, some spies and assassins and poisons and
Wow.
the like. She set up other families for crimes, and it shifted the temperature of Gilivesto at the top. It was brilliant, but it was unnecessary.
How is it going?
It was well done. It was a light hand. She did not have to do much. It was a powder keg already. The rankings of they have yearly tournaments to reseed and rank the families. All she had to do was introduce the idea that someone was cheating, that someone had killed the competitors, and Gilivesto was quick to believe it because they wanted to. But before that, her machinations were focused on Fela. She was planning to do something of the like to Fela.
But there ain't no family rivalry.
There are many nobles in Fela. There are many powerful families who are not these three. They are just greatly overshadowed. They fight for the scraps, but they still fight. And they, should they ever stop fighting, could potentially change things in Fela.
But my grandmother stopped it.
She seems to change your mother's focus to Chilevesto instead.
Why do you think it was her that changed the focus?
Your mother does not take many people's counsel. I am one that she listens to. Hanali is another. She at times will listen. She used to listen to Hanali and to Tharan, of course. But beyond that, the only other influence is her mother. None of us were telling her to change her focus. But after a few meetings with your grandmother, these focus changed.
So this Kavasan,
Say again.
took place years in, like, how many years ago? It was?
How many years ago did I see Kavath?
And my grandmother.
He thinks. How old is Shalora?
What's it? 100
200?
and like one, like
Um,
a few years of 200.
Okay. He says, this must have been anywhere from 100, maybe 180 years ago, maybe later.
By at the monastery?
I left when you were a child, my dear. So, no, it has to be like 100,
So like what?
190, 195, we'll say.
195 years ago?
Yeah.
195 years.
Hmm.
Okay. So before the fall of September.
Yeah, yes.
I was like kind of keeping an eye on my sister's reaction to this whole thing.
Your sister has a very focused look to her, like she's paying attention and remembering everything being said.
Are you able to ask
You broke up a bit. Able to ask what?
to see about Kavam?
What about Kavath?
What knows about him? And also, humans or hmm, hmm. Trying to find the name of the group
Okay.
for the discontinued.
Um, you trying to find the group of the heroes?
Yeah, do they have a name?
Um, I think. Uh, Pretty sure they did. Hold on.
I just found. No, I don't. They don't have a name. I found my name.
It might have just been the heroes, honestly. Let me double check.
Um, okay. So Laura pulled out another piece of paper and draws a symbol with picture that was on the chair.
Okay.
Because what the legend know about how to call them the heroes. They don't have a name.
Um, One sec. Give me another performance or sleight of hand to see how well you draw it. You draw it pretty perfectly, actually. As soon as you finish, yeah, he looks at it, he nods and says, "Ah, the heroes of old."
And I see what, and then I show it to my sister also.
She looks at it a little curiously. She says, "I have not seen this before." And
So
Dreadnought asks you, "Where did you see this, my daughter?"
Laura like halfway like ignores him and like looks at her and says, "Look carefully. Are you sure you've never seen?"
She looks at it. Um, Kind of thinks to herself.
Laura says, "Check your notes."
She looks at you and like does a quick look at the Dreadnought, looks back at you, and says, I think I would know if I saw it, sister. Um, I don't think this. I don't think I've seen it before." Kind of gives you a little shake of no when you mention checker notes.
Or just gives her the paper and says, that
She takes it.
and
Um,
says to the dreadnought, I'm like keeping an eye on the sister. So it's, I guess that was the throne room of the tree. That
his study.
or that
His study.
and the tree. I saw this in the study of the tree. The on the ship itself.
That is fascinating. Is the new tree or the old tree?
So, or like that.
That is very fascinating. This is old. This is of the discontinuance. This is
And
not.
Alright, go ahead. You can finish.
This is obviously something of the sea. I did not know that the land still remembered.
Flora said, you've seen this symbol in its entirety before.
I have seen it drawn. I have not seen it original. I have heard tales of it. It is they are legends.
So, what is how did my sister react when she said she sits in the study of the tree?
She nods. She doesn't seem overly surprised, but she does seem to feel better about not knowing what the symbol is.
Re- Like, really?
You get the impression she's never been in the tree study.
Really? Huh. That's weird.
She did tell you she dealt a lot with Theron and with Satira.
But the tree, like, knows her though.
Hmm?
The tree, she's met with the tree because she mentioned it when I was there.
Oh, she has, but the impression you're getting at the moment is that it may not have been in his study.
Forever. Right. Okay. Um, it's 11:30, so I don't know. Like, I'll say we can end on me asking this question. If you don't
Okay.
mind.
What's your ending question?
So Samara says to Dreadnought, tell me the legend.
Says what?
So tell me the legend.
Cool. We'll end on that.
Okay.
All right. Good session.
I knew it. I knew it.
Where did you know?
Once you said some say it's a prophecy, some say it's a wives' tale, blah blah. I was like, he gonna sing about Samson giving up that damn loot. I was like, this damn clown Samson giving up the loot. Kavath ain't happy. It's about to be about Samson.
Mm-mm. That is a good session.
So Laura gotta pay everybody now.
Why does Samara have to tell everyone?
She gotta pay everybody for snitching on them and spying on them.
Wait, what exactly did the journal say? He said obviously this is a something of the sea.
A secret of the sea.
What's the secret of the sea?
The symbol of the heroes of old that the tree had the sail and the symbol on the sails.
Oh, people don't know about that.
No,
Ah,
he said he thought the land had forgotten about it.
Hmm. What's it called? Now, who was Solara looking at that was pointedly making sure he didn't react to the song and everything?
The dreadnought. The dreadnought was controlling how he reacted to the song.
Uh-huh. Oh, your daddy know what happened?
no, he knew the song though. I mean, now he knows the version.
Go back to sleep. All right, I gotta stop talking to Saeed waking up now. I made him wake up. Peace.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Hmm. Well. Well. Quite interesting. What did you say when I asked you? Were you expecting me to, or were you expecting Aaliyah to perform that?
Oh, we picked back up the thing, so I didn't answer. No, I wasn't.
It seemed like you had the song ready to go, though.
I did have the song ready to go. I didn't expect Aaliyah to be the one singing it, but the moment came, so the moment came.
This is boy, oh boy.
Sometimes characters tell you what they know, not the other way around.
I mean, this. Oh my goodness, this is so interesting. You know, we're still on day 4. Like,
Isn't that? It's not day. Oh, it is day 4 still.
this is the night of day 4. We've been on day 4 for 3 sessions now. 3
Yeah,
sessions.
3 sessions.
Gosh dang. Going to sleep after this whole study session. Oh my god. Wow. And when does Critical Role start back up? In 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Oh boy, so I better talk fast.
if we don't get to a good wrapping point next week, we'll do a Tuesday or something.
Alright, okay.
Finding out a nonsense amount of information is great.
The grandmother, Rose Kava, who's also an unaging child of half elf. This is interesting. Huh.
Fun.
How do you even? Oh. Not like I can even ask her. Like, so how do you know Kava?
Are you
Like
gonna?
murder me with Kava or something? I don't know. I wonder if she interesting. Oh, that's what I need to. I forgot to ask the Dreadnought why he was surprised that she might know more than a monk should know in terms of magic.
Oh yeah.
Hmm. You can run some interesting tidbits. I need to ask Darren why his little whatever, how do you say why his abilities are enhanced by the sea?
hmm
Hmm. Interesting. Okay. All right. I need to write down all these burning questions before I forget. It's interesting.
That's funny. That was fun.
Yes. This is so interesting. What in the world is going on? Like, why did Amir meet Kavas? Like, how did my like how do I find like you see this person and hundreds of years later you see them again and you're not like haven't we met before? Like, especially if they look exactly the same. Like,
Well, he was on the way to confront your grandma. So like he's already he's nice and worked up and going over what he's gonna say. Like he's in battle, talking battle mode. And he's like, what the? Do I? Nah, couldn't be.
Oh my gosh, this is. I need to circle back to my sister, get the chance to check her notes. All right. I'm not going to hold you hostage here and ask questions. I'll let you be surprised with all the million questions I have next session.
I'm sure. It's gonna be great.
It's so wow. Just I'm genuinely shocked at the amount of information I keep getting.
Every session, I'm like, okay, there'll be a few questions, and boom.
Do you honestly believe that? Do you really come into it thinking?
Well, okay, not a few questions. I assume like the
Subject matter would be the same. You branch out to a lot of different things, a lot that I'm not expecting you to branch to. It's like, oh, we're talking about that now. Okay, cool. That's fine. It's like, oh, she doesn't care that he's uncomfortable. Cool. All right, guess you're talking about this now.
Oh man, and Theron is a sportsman. Interesting, a master sportsman.
Yes, he is. Theron's a little monster. He was a pirate.
Why do I feel like at some point later in the campaign I'm going to hear something about, what is it, the Ghost of the Burning Flag?
Mhm.
Like, I feel like that name is going to come up and I'm just going to be like,
I know him.
I may or may not reveal that. I don't know. I'm curious because I genuinely don't know how Solara is going to, like, what of this she's going to relate to the team. Like,
It's a lot of information.
I feel like very little of it, but like I'm really even more curious how she's going to interact with everybody.
Going back.
I want Theron to take me on a cruise, but I know you're not having it.
Take you on a cruise.
My grandparents. That's what I would do if I had my choice. But.
well, the group has promised Ashley Stavon to head to sea after they're done with the dragon.
Why?
In exchange for his help with the dragon.
Why are they going to sea?
Ashley Stavon would not promise his help with fighting the dragon unless the group promised to do him a favor. And the favor is to go to sea to retrieve Jericho's treasure. They felt really, felt they needed his help with this, with the dragon, and he wouldn't do it for free. He didn't want any money; he just wanted a favor.
I'm gonna meet my grandparents soon. That's what I'm here.
Maybe, I don't know. It's not soon, but
I was told they would find me if I ever found myself at sea.
you were told that.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I stopped listening because I was trying. I don't want to like. I really genuinely don't want to know what's going on, so I can be actually surprised when I come back.
Okay. Yes, they promised. They made a deal to. It's funny because they weren't first. It was they were just wanted his help, and he's like, "I'll do it for a favor, but I'm not gonna tell you what the favor is until you agree to it." And they're like, "No, that's stupid."
Exactly.
And then he was like, "Well, he told Assad, that, hey, I know something, a political secret about your country that's very important to you, and I will tell you that if you'll help." And so he agreed to it. And Assad thought he was just agreeing for himself to do a favor. He's like, no, I want you to convince them all to do a favor for me in exchange for me giving you this very important thing about your country that you definitely want to know. But the group wouldn't agree to do it at large, so Assad tabled it. And he ended up saying that, look, you know what? I'll pull back the deal with Assad, so I won't tell him this political secret, and we'll just make it the regular thing. You know, it'll just be a favor for a favor, because I'm doing a favor to help you guys with this dragon. And ended up agreeing to that. But they made the stipulation that it cannot involve Assad's country. It can't involve anyone that Assad thinks is important. It's like pretty much no setting up the group to kill anyone that's going to come back at the group. So Stevan did promise that it doesn't involve anyone that any of them thinks important. Is how he phrased it. He also made it very clear that it couldn't be anything that involves you or your country, as far as what they were doing. But yeah, they signed on. Stevan said that they may have a run-in with a few pirate lords, depending on how it goes. So yeah, we'll see. That's going to be exciting if and when the group gets there. Although the group is like actively planning to maybe kill him when they fight the dragon, but we'll see.
Oh, goodness.